The rain didn't just fall. It poured in heavy sheets that blurred the world into shades of silver and gray. The wind tugged at Emily Carter's coat as she held her broken umbrella high, the metal ribs jutting out like desperate fingers. Her shoes were soaked through, her hair clinging to her face, and her breath came out in small white clouds of nerves and cold. Today was the day. Her first day at her new job. Her last chance, she told herself, after months of rejection letters, unpaid bills, and sleepless nights listening to her son's cough. She checked her phone. The screen was cracked but functional. Uber arriving in 2 minutes. Emily sighed in relief. She looked back toward the small apartment window on the 3rd floor, where a faint light glowed. Her neighbor had promised to watch Noah, her 6-year-old son, while she worked. Just make it through the first week, she whispered to herself. One paycheck at a time. Then a black luxury car rolled to a stop in front of her. Sleek, silent, expensive enough to make her hesitate. That can't be mine, she murmured. Still, the license plate matched her app. She rushed forward, splashing through puddles, knocking on the window. It rolled down smoothly, revealing a man in his mid-30s with sharp features, ocean gray eyes, and a calm composure that seemed untouchable. His suit was perfectly tailored, his posture effortless, his gaze focused. Uber for Emily? She asked breathlessly. The man's brow lifted just slightly. There was the faintest curve at the corner of his mouth, an expression of curiosity, maybe amusement. After a short pause, he said simply, "Yes, get in." "Thank you." She gasped, sliding into the back seat. She hugged her bag, dripping water on the spotless leather interior. The car smelled faintly of cedar and cologne, far too nice for a rideshare vehicle. "I'm so sorry if I'm a mess," she said quickly, noticing her reflection in the mirror. "My son's sick, I barely slept, and it's my first day at a new job. If I'm late, they'll fire me before I even start." The man said nothing at first. Then in a calm tone, "Rough morning?" "You could say that." She let out a shaky laugh. "You know, I almost didn't take this job. The company's CEO, what's his name, Harrison? People online say he's cold, ruthless, probably one of those rich men who think the world owes them something." He coughed softly. "You've read quite a bit about him." "Oh, I read everything," she said earnestly, unaware of the man's amused glance in the mirror. "Anyway, wish me luck. I just hope he's not awful." "Maybe he's misunderstood," the man offered. Emily snorted. "Doubt it. People like that don't understand people like me." He gave a soft, unreadable smile and turned the car onto a long avenue lined with glass towers. "You sound brave," he said after a pause. "Starting over like that, brave?" She gave a tired laugh. "More like desperate." The man's eyes flicked toward her in the mirror. There was a flicker of something, sympathy? Admiration? But it passed too quickly to tell. They drove in silence for a few moments, the sound of rain tapping rhythmically on the roof. Finally, the car slowed and came to a smooth stop in front of a towering building of glass and steel. Harrison & Co., etched in silver letters across the entrance. Emily blinked in surprise. "Wait, you're dropping me here?" "This is where I work." The man smiled faintly. "I know." She frowned. "How did you—" But he was already stepping out, walking around to open her door. He stood tall, the rain misting his dark hair, the city lights catching on his watch as he offered her a hand. "Welcome to Harrison & Co., Miss Carter," he said smoothly. She froze, heart thudding. How do you know my name?" He met her eyes, calm, confident, and faintly amused. "Because," he said softly, "I'm Alexander Harrison." The color drained from her face. You're my boss." He nodded once, his lips curving. "Though for a moment I was your driver." Her mouth opened and closed helplessly. "Oh my God, I didn't—" He chuckled under his breath. "Relax, Emily. You were far more entertaining than my usual meetings." She wanted the ground to swallow her whole. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Harrison. I swear I didn't mean—" He held up a hand. "No apologies, just next time maybe let me know if I'm supposed to open the back door." Despite her humiliation, she couldn't help but laugh. He smiled back, and for a brief, unexpected moment, something warm passed between them, the kind of spark neither wanted to acknowledge. "Now," he said, gesturing toward the building, "let's make sure your first day goes better than your morning." 2 weeks later, the rain had given way to soft spring sunlight. The office was bustling, but Emily still felt out of place among polished shoes and sleek suits. Every time she passed Mr. Harrison's glass office, she remembered that morning, her calling him just a driver, her rambling about awful CEOs. And yet, he hadn't fired her. If anything, he'd been kind, quietly protective. When others dismissed her for being the new one, he listened. When she stayed late, he noticed. That evening, she was alone at her desk when his door opened. "Still here?" came his low voice. She looked up, startled. "Oh, Mr. Harrison, I was just finishing the quarterly reports." He stepped closer, loosening his tie. "You've done enough for today." "I just don't want to make mistakes," she murmured. He leaned on her desk slightly, his eyes softening. "Emily, everyone makes mistakes. Even CEOs." She smiled faintly. "Do they also get mistaken for Uber drivers?" He laughed quietly, a sound that made her chest tighten unexpectedly. "Touché." There was a pause. The air felt charged somehow, filled with something unspoken. Then he reached into his pocket and placed a small envelope on her desk. "A little something for your hard work," she frowned. "What's this?" "Your promotion," he said simply. "Effective immediately. Higher pay, shorter hours, so you can be with your son more." Her throat tightened. "Mr. Harrison, you don't have to—" "I want to," he interrupted softly. "You remind me why I built this company. For people who don't give up no matter how unfair life gets." Tears blurred her vision. "I don't know what to say," he smiled gently. "Say yes when I offered to drive you home." She laughed shakily. "You mean in your Uber?" He smirked. "Exactly." And as the two of them walked out into the evening light, her heart lighter, his eyes following her with quiet admiration, Emily thought, maybe some mistakes aren't mistakes at all.